Blue. Take a second to look and consider how blue makes you feel. Do you feel relaxed, stimulated, and trusting of a constant color? As a symbol color, blue stands for trust, harmony, and consistency. In psychological terms, blue has a relaxing effect. It alleviates stress and is said to stimulate the unconscious mind.
Green. How does green make you feel, and what does it connotate to you? Nature, life, luck. Does it make you feel harmonized, balanced, hopeful? People see green as a symbol of life, nature, and naturalness. We frequently associate green with luck, hope, and contentment. Green has a recuperative, balancing effect on the psyche.
And red. What does red make you feel? Energy, power, love, sensuality, aggression. Does it feel like a warning? Does it boost your self-esteem? In color theory, it stands for energy, love, fire, power, and sensuality. Depending on the intensity and context, red can also be perceived as aggressive. In nature, red stands for both warning and attraction.
Colors. Unique wavelengths and energies transferred to our bodies, surrounding us since we were a couple months old. Normal to us and yet wondrous in rainbows and in sunsets. But do you know the power of colors?
For example, Google tested over 40 shades of blue to determine the best text font color to use on their results page. The decision alone increased their yearly ad revenue by $200 million.
Did you know the Blackfriars Bridge, made of black iron, when painted green, showed a decline in suicide rates of up to 30%? I'm Mia Scotti.
And I'm Tatianna Bates.
First up, we want to dig deep with colors and what they mean. We were able to get an interview with Fawn Chang. Fawn Chang is an interior designer, design psychology expert, color marketing and trending expert, and keynote speaker with over 2,500 presentations delivered to audiences internationally. Fawn was the designer on a multi-state study to determine the influence of colors on student engagement, with incredible results. In her study, students and teachers went from 50% engagement to 100% engagement just with the use and design placement of wall color.
What role do colors play in schools? How do you think they affect students and teachers and anybody who is in that environment?
If we don't use color consciously, we are in stress. We don't have the ability to really just be calm and think more clearly. We don't have access to that genius part of us that really knows everything. And too much color, like clutter, will stress our body out. Not enough color will stress our body out. And then the actual color itself, if it's not aligned with what our body needs in that space, will stress us out.
Are colors important enough to be taken into consideration when making schools?
It's primary. It's how we navigate our world. 85% of the way we see and navigate through the world is through our visual sense.
What are changes that you think can be made to classrooms? Do you think there are certain colors that are more impactful in classrooms compared to others?
Yes. There are, absolutely. Classrooms that are white are very stressful on the body. Classrooms that are monochromatic, meaning they're all kind of shades of beige, are very stressful on the body. What you want to accomplish in there is also very important. So if you want to have attention to detail, like you want to do math or you want to do something science, a very light yellow is a great background because that helps us focus on detail. If you want to be calm and creative, then a very light blue is going to help you because that doesn't stress the body out so much. It allows us to open and think. The way to accomplish school unity and school pride, and to accomplish all the goals, is to zoom out and create a color palette that all works together. So the red and gold would be where I would start looking at the color palette. How deep is it? How bright is the gold? And then what other colors would work with that? So you have a full spectrum of your color palette. And then when you go through each space, you might add a little bit of that red or something a little lighter or darker in that space, just to let the body know, I'm still in school.
Does color impact things with school unity and how students can get along with each other?
There are principles in web design and in graphic design called Gestalt principles. And one of them is the principle of similarity, the principle of when you see two things that are the same color, the brain assumes that they are the same. And what's important to know is that people use color to create cliques or to create empowerment or to push other people away. So the colors we wear are important and the colors in our environment are important. So how gently I use color is a question of how much do we want to segregate people and how much do we want to bring them together? You know, like the high school versus the middle school versus lower school or even primary school.
Do you think the interpretation of color is like too varying because people interpret it differently to play like a role?
When we're designing with color, we need to understand the cultural influences. So if I say red and I see red, you're going to see a color we both identified as red.
Yeah.
And so there are ways that our body processes color. And that's our body, that's our physiology. Like there are, we see about 100 million colors, and that's people with two X chromosomes. Okay, so that would be most of the female population and then some male population. And that genetic programming allows us to see more colors than if you have somebody that has a XY chromosome, which is primarily men. So women, and I'm generalizing, females do see more colors than men. We see more nuances. So our brain interprets it, and then our culture. But if you are designing for people that in an environment want to come together, I would look at a color palette that addresses at least the nuances of color, little bits of color. It's the way it influences us, and it is the way we perceive it.
How have colors affected marketing, and what have you noticed through different jobs and different experiences?
Color is used in marketing, all the time. If companies aren't thinking about their colors, they really should be. Colors can do everything from speed up your metabolism, make you make quicker buying decisions. It can also calm people. Blue, for example, is a calming color. That's why you see, Progressive Insurance use it. Other colors, such as brown, will represent reliability. This is why you see UPS will use it. They're reliable. They're trustworthy. They're going to get your package there on time.
Alexander G. Schaus conducted a study that showed the color pink had the effect of decreasing muscle strength and aggression. He would have a test subject hold their arms out while an assistant of equal strength would push the subject's arms down. The subject lost strength when there was a bright pink piece of paper in front of the subject's eyes. These results were consistent for 151 out of 153 test subjects. Also, data shows that inmate violence decreased when the inmates were in the pink room for 15 minutes, and the calming effects lasted for 30 minutes after they had left the room. If this was applied to schools, maybe more pink would be featured in guidance counseling offices and avoided in physical fitness areas and active learning environments.
Meanwhile, a study by the University of Rochester found that participants who saw the color red right before taking a test scored lower than those who didn't. A study by Dr. Anna Alcoze, Dr. Ryan Smith, and their team has shown that when blue-enriched light replaced white lights in an office setting for 4 weeks, participants saw an increase in alertness, performance, mood, and concentration.
And a study by Dr. Melina Ruzuk and team showed that when reading through a green filter, children with dyslexia were able to read faster. Fewer colors, about 2 to 3, are best for learning environments, while larger spaces like cafeterias and media centers can handle a balance of 4 to 6 colors.
While you want to be mindful of school colors and incorporate them into the palette of the learning environment, these colors might best be left to a focal piece or one large item.
Students at Haverford wonder why we don't have our own school colors on our lockers and on the tiles. After doing some research on reds and blues, it makes sense why we have blue chosen.
What do you think? Do you believe that red causes anger and aggression, or do you believe that the color would be a good addition to our school lockers?